Hell, guys, if you're covering the Alita Blu-ray sales for the second week, not Hellboy. I already made a 12-minute video explaining why Hellboy is definitely overperforming compared to other movies. It'll be coming out exactly the same time as this video, so Alita is overperforming, definitely. The best comparison is Ready Player One, and how it did. Ready Player One was a movie that actually made more money than Alita. It is also a cyberpunk film, same genre as Alita. Um, but the difference between Alita and Ready Player One is Ready Player One is about video games, and video games kind of connect more with people than, and of course a lot of people like robots too. And of course there's a lot of references and stuff to Alita and not Hellboy. Ready Player One is how Ready Player One did exactly. Ready Player One had a similar opening to Alita Battle Angel with being around 100,000 copies ahead, and this is its second week will drop 51.7%. So assuming if Alita continues to do like this movie, I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna have different legs. I think Alita's gonna do. It's gonna have a fourth weekend drop because Endgame is coming out on that week on on Alita's fourth weekend, which is understandable. All movies are gonna drop unless they have Marvel or Disney's logo on it. That's basically how it is, and I bet Hellboy is gonna sell like 2 million. Not Hellboy. See, this is the same thing that happened to Ready Player One and every other movie that is not a Marvel movie or The Greatest Showman, which was some and the Transformers 5 movie collection, which are all somehow immune to Infinity War's growth. So Ready Player One, we're using Ready Player One as a comparison. Ready Player One dropped 65%, and the week before, Ready Player One was actually behind the death of Superman, which is a comparison to Batman Huss and how it overtook Alita on Amazon stuff. Also, Detective Pikachu came out on the week, on this week too, and then a previous weekend, um, where Player One came out, and some other movie that nobody really cared about, like Overboard and Dark Crimes, and Star Wars Rebels to complete season 4, which is a TV series with TV series Star Wars as well, and or corrected and stuff. You can see here, Ready Player One had decent legs, despite the death of Superman or the movies coming out. Alita will probably have a decent legs on a second, probably have like a 48%, 30%, 46% swap. And if we're using, this is the Ready Player One's actually the best comparison, because Ready Player One dropped 65% on Infinity War's opening day, when compared to other movies, the death of Superman dropped 80%. And Wife of the Pie dropped 74%, Rampage dropped 71%, Breaking In dropped 73%, Pacific Rim Uprising dropped 56%, Super Troopers 2 dropped 67%, that's 66%, Logan 41%, and of course Spider-Man Homecoming only dropped 44%, but those are being exceptions, being Marvel movies. And of course the Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron went up 300% and 200% respectively. And Black Panther only dropped 13%. And we're going to assume the same thing will happen to Captain Marvel as well on these charts if we do the combined sales chart. Which Infinity War is actually under tracked on that chart. Okay, this is the long chart here. I don't know why I don't take you to the actual chart here. Um, Here in game Infinity War, because you see, Death of Superman #1, The Wife of the Pie, Ready Player One is only at 805,000 copies sold. Because it did well, because Ready Player One also had decent legs on DVD, and this is for Alita would be on a. So Ready Player One is actually the best comparison to Alita. Yeah. I open another tab for Alita. Cause look at what movie. Look at how Alita is performing. Okay, so look at how Alita is performing. Okay, so we have video sales. We have four on and it's on its fourth weekend. So Ready Player One, week 3, it's doing pretty well. Week 2, this is like week 2, and week 1. The Alita did play so Alita and Ready Player One were did similar on its first week. And of course, this is including the weeks that has been out on digital. And then on its second week, Ready Player One dropped a similar amount to how Alita will probably drop. And its comparison third amount, we see the Ready Player One still matches out pretty well. And other movies like Batman, Hush, and Detective Pikachu came out, which I think Alita's gonna drop a bit more due to Detective Pikachu. And there were four new movies that came out. The Curse of Warona was a pie flop. Overboard, which did play which is a movie that does well on DVD. Wife of the Party and Death of Superman, which we could combine for Detective Pikachu's first week on Blu-ray alone. Detective Pikachu will probably sell similar to Shazam. That will be a comparison for we'll be going over Detective Pikachu when that comes out. And of course, we compare Alita's second week. And it is probably how Alita will do when Endgame comes out on Blu-ray. It'll probably be lower because if you look at Blu-ray starts here, sales for of course Endgame, Avengers Endgame. Let's this is the so Endgame will Captain Marvel went up to number 5. Shazam is on its 5th week and selling 3% of copies of Endgame. Detective Pikachu sold 7.6%, which Detective Pikachu is on its 2nd week. Alita does have more competition than Ready Player One did, and this is all the new movies that came out. And that was probably the only movie that will probably really compete because it was on that bestsellers on Amazon. And Alita was at number 6, I think. Captain Marvel landed at number 5. And of course, Descendants 3 landed at number 4. For I don't know that, but I actually, where is it? So this is how the movies did. This is for Blu-rays. So Batman Hush is actually ahead of Alita still. Alita has went down to number 6 on this stuff, but Alita did have more competition, you know. And of course, all best-selling 4Ks are all Marvel movies, of course. And of course, the 3D movies. Nobody buys 3D movies anyway, so that's not a top we can go over here. So DVDs here. If you include DVDs, Descendants free DVD only is at number 4. Don't know why people are buying Descendants free. I never even heard of it before. Batman Hudson is actually still outselling Alita, so that's probably a problem here because the Death of Superman dropped 80% and Batman Hush will probably drop like 76% or something like that. And Alita's selling worse than Batman Hush, you know. And that's the problem really here. Alita is still selling worse here than Batman Hush, which did open higher than here. And Shazam actually went up, probably is actually went up to number 3, surprisingly. But you gotta realize on Amazon, Shazam, this is also when Endgame came out, Shazam did get a price cut on Amazon, which probably is the reason why Shazam went up in sales. People don't notice that, did not know that, but on Amazon, Shazam got a price cut, which made it number 1 on Amazon because they didn't have Endgame on there for like 3 or 4 days. Shazam was the number 1 movie on Amazon as well. So Shazam got a price cut, which means it went up to number 3. And Detective Pikachu being number 1 last week went down to number 2. And of course, Captain Marvel being an MCU movie probably actually went up in sales, hitting of Iron Man and Infinity War. And Hellboy being a leggy movie still at number 10. So, comic book and manga, what happened to originality? You gotta realize that Endgame came out, so comic book. Detective Pikachu is based off a video game, comic book. Yeah, most of these are based off comic book and manga. Detective Pikachu is not based off no manga, it's based off a video game. Get your facts straight. Couple among those were some of the best of the year. A lot of old. See, this is what they say here. Okay, so like Jurassic Park, for example, people thought Jurassic Park was an original idea. No, it's based off a novel called Jurassic Park. I actually saw it at the Bill. It's called Jurassic Park. I was like, oh, they have a Jurassic Park book. I looked at it. Jurassic Park book is actually older, but I'm not really concerned here. I won't be surprised if the sales are similar, around 40,000 copies. Batman Hush probably must have overperformed Yale. It probably declined to 41,000 copies because Batman has more of a following online than. And it also doesn't help that Endgame wasn't on Amazon for like 4 days, so that's probably why Batman Hush is still on the top five. Um, Captain Marvel went up, of course, because it's a Marvel movie. Same thing with Infinity War and Iron Man. And probably the other two Avengers much lower, and Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, 4, and all these other Marvel movies that went up. I won't be surprised if every Marvel movie went up in sales. Um, so Endgame probably sold 2 million copies. I'm predicting Detective Pikachu probably dropped 70% or something like that. Shazam went up because of it's a sale. Same thing with Captain Marvel because it's an MCU movie. Batman Hush went down 80%. Alita went down probably 40% because Alita probably at 80,000 copies. So probably went down to like 40,000 copies because let's look at Endgame. So let's go at the calculator. Okay, so Endgame, this is predicted number. So Endgame predicted numbers: 2 million copies on Blu-ray. Yes, I'm being ballsy here and saying 2 million, but Endgame did gross 800. It did gross $200 more billion than Infinity War. So 2 million copies, and here's what I'm predicting for Alita exactly. And okay, that's not right. 50 is. Okay, so let's just do a more better number. So let's just put let's just say Alita's performing like this. So Alita, actually, that's not. This doesn't feel right. So let's just get 1.6. So okay, I gotta find that website that put the market sale on there because I gotta put the exact market sale on there. So let's just put it. This is gonna be a much longer video. Media play news here. Okay, so is it? No, they don't put the market. They don't put it here. This is not the one. I'm looking for the market sale one. The market sale one. Where is the one where they put the market sale on here? So 1 billion. Video scan. That. Hopefully I don't have to pay to see that. Don't be surprised at that guy who does the thing for the. No, it just puts me back over here. Because I want the exact. I can't find it. Okay, so what is this? NDP video scan first award shot. So okay, so Endgame is 100%. So let's see how Alita is selling. So this is the obviously this is obviously both combined because Batman Hearts on this list is at 1.4. So let's just do this. 1.7 of Endgame sales. So well, let's assume Endgame sells 2 million copies. So actually, I can put the percentage calculator. So what is 1.7% of 2 million? Because I actually do not know that. 1.7 million copies. 2 billion copies of Endgame being sold. Because I'm assuming on let's just do the combined shot. So 1.7% of 2 point. Let's just do the combined sales. So this is combined sales. So Alita will be selling the same amount of copies as Ready Player One. This is Endgame's. This is my estimate for Endgame's first week sales. Let's see if Endgame. Let's see if they undertrack Endgame here. Like they have Infinity War at the lowest. Alita will be performing at the worst 32,000 copies. So, and let's see if Endgame is doing extremely well, which will only do if Netflix dies. But that will be in Alita will be at nearly 50,000 copies, which is extremely unlikely. I think the exact sales will be around here. 2.4 million combined. But let's just do only Blu-rays only. There's a Blu-rays only, and that will be 2 million copies. This will be only Blu-rays, and that will be 44,000 Blu-rays sold of Alita. And of course, if we do the DVD sales, which will be around 400,000, which I think Alita will be much lower, around 1.3%. Alita will only sell 5,000 Blu-rays, making Alita be around that much copies sold around Endgame's total sales, which means around 40,000 sales if anything changes. So that means we have Alita at 320,000 copies to 155. So let's do the rounding here. 450. So let's do the rounding here. So Alita's first week is 320,000 copies. Oh no. Let's do it exactly. So 316,000 copies plus 140. This is just the Blu-rays alone. Then 85,000 copies plus 34,000 copies. So this is why I'm thinking Alita's sales will be at the beginning of Endgame. So let's see how Ready Player One did. This is combined, so we have to go to shot index. Because I can't just go back to the Blu-ray shots, and because I have to, they have to make it me do the hard way. Of course, I have to do it the hard way, not the easy way. That would be too logical. Okay, that would be too logical. And Endgame came out the same week, which means Alita is performing similar to Ready Player One. It actually is performing very, very similar. 557,000 copies, and this is how much Ready Player One is. And Ready Player One did make more money than Alita. That's the thing. And Alita would actually be selling pretty similarly to Ready Player One, and of course, Endgame would be selling more copies than Infinity War did in its first week, probably around 2.1 million copies as well, which means he is right. If Ready Player One is performing very, very similar to, of course, if we do the combined sales here of Ready Player One, which means we have to go back. I can just click on top Blu-rays. We only have 1 week for the combined sales, so that's worldwide. No, that's combined. So it's on this weekend. So by the time Infinity War came out, Ready Player One was at 857,000 copies. So Alita was at 400, and let's just look at Ready Player One here. Let's just start on the first week. So assuming if Alita does play out like Ready Player One does, Alita sells around 200,000 copies on its second week, which we have Alita at 142,000 copies. It sells 60,000, so 200,000 copies. So that means it will be around which means that we'll be at 600,000 copies. And assuming if Alita sells another 140,000 copies, it'll be at 750,000 copies, which means Alita will be at almost 800,000 copies. So as you see here, Alita's first week is 418,000 copies. Let's include the Blu-ray and DVD sales. Okay, so Blu-ray, the movie sold, Alita sold on the second weekend 142,000 copies, which is, and let's just say around 200,000 copies, which we were hoping for that week. And then let's just say 140,000 copies because Detective Pikachu comes out. No, around 120,000. I think that's a bit too high. And 780,000, which means we're almost at 1 million, combined. Blu-ray and DVD, which, if we go to Ready Player One's for the weekend, Ready Player One is higher. But Ready Player One did make more money than Alita. That's the thing here. Ready Player One made more money than Alita. So, here we go. Well, at estimated 748,000 copies here. Ready Player One's at 805,000 copies. Okay, so, which means Alita at Endgame's opening will be around 41,000 copies, which will put Alita at, which means Alita will be at almost 800,000 copies. Ready Player One will be ahead, and this is combined sales, and I think Alita, and let's just say if Alita continues playing like how Ready Player One is playing, Ready Player One is at 29,000 copies, but Deadpool, which still aren't no movies coming out after Endgame, which let's just say Alita holds at 35,000 copies, but then goes down to around 25,000 copies because Godzilla comes out the week later, which means by the end of this month we'll be seeing Alita at this many amount of copies or amount of copies similar to this, which means by the end of this year, including Black Friday sales, Alita sells 315,000 copies at an estimate, including a massive Black Friday jump and holiday boost. We'll be seeing Alita at 1.15 million copies. So that's basically it about Alita. We'll be doing something similar to Detective Pikachu when that movie opens up, and of course Godzilla King of the Monsters. Two other movies I also want to see succeed at Blu-ray and DVD: Godzilla King of the Monsters especially, and Detective Pikachu. And of course we'll be predicting how Endgame will do as well once those numbers come out around and compare it to Infinity War, which is the only other movie I'm going to compare that movie to, and see how Endgame will probably sell, and see if Endgame will truly sell 5 million copies by the end of the year.